Welcome back to the first team. I'm Joe DeLeone, and with me is my co-host and NFL draft analyst, Ryan Roberts. I'm still not in a settled recording situation. This should be the last time, and I can actually set up my goddamn office, and this move will be done. But today we're doing another fun offseason topic. We're going to go through every single round of doing this, and if you tuned into last week, we did a draft, a snake draft of the worst busts at every single position. Today, we're going to do the best 7th round picks since 2010. Ryan, I got to say, this was kind of hard. There were a couple positions where I couldn't find anyone. Like we were really scraping the bottom of the barrel. I have one position group. I've got a 2023 guy, like just to put into perspective.
So I didn't do that at all. I was thinking about going with like a 2023 guy of like a guy I like and we'll just project forward. But like, no, I went back and I tried to find somebody that had any semblance of NFL production.
No, I'm projecting with this one guy and I'm praying that, well, it's good to know that you're not going to take this guy because I was beyond desperate to put him onto this list because I went all the way through. I guess it makes sense because corners are just all the tradesy guys, even if they're not that good, tend to get drafted early, and all the ones on the back end are all special teamers.
Corner, I would also say wide receiver wasn't the best.
Yeah, tight end was pretty brutal too.
Tight end wasn't great. With that being said, though, to start this conversation, can I have the first pick since I did the back-to-back last time?
I'm worried.
It's only fair. It's only fair.
All right, here's the only thing.
Okay.
I have one position group that I only wrote down one guy. So if you have another option, you have to pitch me that other option.
Fine. I can do that.
I know that sounds desperate, like I'm underprepared, but I was trying to do a second look through this morning, which is why we started a little late. But all right, you can go first. Fine.
I would like to take Brock Purdy, quarterback.
Oh, go ahead. You can have him. I don't want him. He's
really?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, Joe, I only have 2 7th round quarterbacks written down since 2010. One is Brock Purdy, who was at least in an MVP conversation. The other one is a journeyman backup. So
I'm obviously joking. Yes. I'll let you pitch in a second, but my reasoning why I'm not broken up, I would much rather have, if there is a position group where there's one guy and then 50 feet of crap, I'd rather have the 50 feet of crap. I can there's at least a decent option. So I'm not too super broken up about losing Purdy. So obviously explain the very blatant reasoning why he made this.
2 seasons that he's played for San Francisco, obviously 1 year as a full-time starter. He made a Pro Bowl this past year in 25 games and 21 starts. He's 17-4 with a 69% completion percentage, 44 touchdowns, only 15 interceptions. He is at least a solid to good starter. At best, he could be a very good starter. I do think that he is going to be a little bit overrated by some, but I do think he's also going to be underrated by others. So when comparing it to, I'll throw the other name out there that I had out there because it doesn't matter at this point, but like him compared to Trevor Siemian, I was like,
oh, he's not my guy. He's not going to be my guy.
Who is your guy? Who the heck is your guy?
We're going to an alternative league.
Oh no,
we're going to an alternative league. This is a deep hole.
Trevor Siemian was the only other quarterback in the 7th round of 2010 that I saw that had any semblance of okay NFL production at any point.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do with my back-to-back picks. The first guy that I'm going to take is the only viable option, but is an elite option. Malcolm Smith is going to be my linebacker, who was the Seattle Seahawks. So, dude, he was a Super Bowl MVP. Are you kidding me? How many Super Bowl MVPs does Brock Purdy have? How many Super Bowl MVPs do any of these guys have?
There's 2 other linebackers that I am more than happy to go with.
He was a Super Bowl MVP.
More than happy.
Ryan.
I mean, otherwise, he's just an okay player. I mean, I'm fine, dude. That's fine pick for me. That's fine.
No, that doesn't matter.
I'm fine with it, dude. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good.
That is the highest achievement out of anybody on this list. There's some really good players, but a Super Bowl MVP as a linebacker.
You did not take – I don't think that you took a top 5 player on my list, like overall player. Yeah, I do not think you did. Yes, you did not. Absolutely did not. Absolutely did not.
You need to find God. I'm going to come back around and just fill a position of need that there are no good options.
Okay.
Juwan Jennings, 2020, 217th overall pick in the 7th round. There were so many weird receiver options. Like Noah Brown was one that I saw that I was like, has he really done enough? But Juwan Jennings recently has been pretty good for the 49ers. And as we said in the lead-in, they're just really a tough sell. There are not some of these other position groups, like there's Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
There's no Pro Bowlers at receiver. Juwan Jennings has been a really good 3rd or 4th receiver for the 49ers, and he's fit a role pretty nicely. He's had a couple big games. That's all. That's enough to make the team. Damn it.
There is one other wide receiver that I think is kind of on a similar buckets as far as production, but like, yeah, it's not a great list. It's not a great list at all. Joe, my back-to-backs. You ready for this? So both these positions, there are other pretty good options, but I do think there's a little bit of there's a difference of how good the number 1 is compared to number 2 and so on and so forth. I'm going to take Jordan Mailata.
Damn it.
Philadelphia Eagle, 2018, former rugby player that Howie Roseman drafted in the 7th round. Again, there are a couple of other good offensive tackles on the board.
There's one I really like. But damn.
It's a good group of offensive tackles. That's actually one of the better groups. So like, it's not where I'm drafting Jordan Mailata and you're getting absolutely nothing. Like, I think you're still going to get a good player, but Jordan Mailata is arguably one of the top 3 offensive tackles in the NFL right now. I mean, like, he's a really, really good player. So I will take Jordan Mailata. I will go. Actually, I don't know, man. I was thinking about safety, but like, there's a couple good.
There's actually some pretty good safety options. So like, you're almost wasting that pick.
I don't know if I would say wasting though. I'm going to go safety still because I still do think there is separation. Like, there's some good players there, but I'm going to take Jordan Poyer, 2013 safety. Was actually a corner technically coming out of Oregon State, but he's developed into.
He was my number 1 safety.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's trending downward a little bit now, but like in his peak with the Buffalo Bills, he was one of the better safeties in the NFL. So I'll take Jordan Poyer on my back-to-back with Jordan Mailata.
Okay, so I'm going to go with 2 more protection picks here because this is all the strategy is this isn't fantasy football. The strategy is we need to have names on the board. Otherwise, we're going with practice squad players.
Sure.
Quick side note: I found out there's a guy named Tim Fugger. That's a fun side note.
What position do you play?
He's a defensive end. I almost took him just purely because his name was Tim Fugger. That's a stupid name. Shelby Harris is going to be my defensive end pick, though. He was a bit of a journeyman.
Does he count as a defensive end? I mean, he's played D tackle in the NFL.
He was listed as a defensive end. He's listed on Pro Football Focus as a defensive end, and he finished his career. Or I don't know if is he still.
He's still playing anything. I think
he's currently unsigned, but he played with the Browns. So I'm doing a little bit of a cheat there, listing him as a defensive end because Pro Football Focus, or not Pro Football Reference considers him to be a defensive end. 26 career sacks. He's got 168 career tackles. He's bounced around a bit. He played for Oakland, played for Denver, where he was really good with Denver. And then Seattle and then Cleveland this past year was a nice important piece. So I'm going to go with Shelby Harris just to kind of protect myself a little bit.
I should have cheated like you, dude. I did not count him as a defensive end because he's a defensive tackle in the NFL. That's wild. It's a pretty wild pick.
No, I'm gonna gladly take him. Wait, before I just want to double check so I don't miss. You took Mailata, and then who was the
Jordan Poyer
was the other one. Yeah. I want to make sure these were
dude. My team is loaded, bro. Purdy, Mailata, and Poyer loaded, dude.
You're gonna be scraping the bottom of the barrel in a second. So this is the last position group that I have. I'm just trying to save myself because there literally were no other options at tight end. This is the best that I could do. And if I miss somebody because like my eyesight is terrible. Yeah. Jeff Swaim in 2015 for the Dallas Cowboys.
That's the pick.
Is that who you had written down?
I had 2 tight ends written down. So there's one that I'm going to take that I'll just be like, it's fine. But yeah, it's not great. It's not good, to be honest.
He has not done really anything. I'm trying to pull up his stats really quick. 800. He hasn't even gotten to 1,000 receiving yards in the NFL.
Actually, I don't know, man. My secondary option might actually be better than Jeff Swaim. Now that I'm kind of looking at stats and stuff a little bit deeper. I don't know.
I'm trying to think
tight end sucks, though, dude. I mean, I can say it now since we're, it doesn't matter anymore, right? But I was looking at
save it. You stink.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Go on. Who you're going to be your back-to-back picks here?
Gosh, dude, this is where it gets a little bit tough because now we're talking about positions that I think guys are just a little bit in a similar bucket. I guess I'll go here. Actually, no, I'm not going to go there. That wouldn't make any sense. Corner, Joe. I'm going to go corner here because this is not a fun conversation. But I'm going to look this guy up real quick just because I think that he has the best production. I'm pretty sure out of any 7th round player. Oh my God, he's not even that good. Oh gosh. Okay, cool. I'm still going to do him though. I'm going to go Dane Jackson, the corner plays for Buffalo. He has started 28 games in his 4 seasons. He had 28 pass breakups. He's a starter. He's played outside and in the nickel for Buffalo. I mean, outside of that, dude, I mean, I was going to go with the 2023 guy. I was going to say like, hey, I'll take a shot on Jalen Jones or Corey Trice, but like, yeah, let's go Dane Jackson, I guess, corner out of Buffalo.
Yeah, corner was brutal, and I think that this paints how fun I think this, instead of doing best first rounders, which would have been a snore, which we'll end up doing. I think that this is a really fun exercise because it really requires you to think, like, what did this guy do? Like, how did this guy's impact where was it found? So there you go, a random poll at corner. Who's your next one?
My next one is going to be a center. Yeah, let's go center. Austin Blythe.
Wait, you already took no. Wait. We only do one offensive.
We're only doing one offensive lineman. Or we're not doing an interior.
We did that for busts. No interior.
Oh, okay, that's perfect then.
Same setup as busts.
I had guards and centers ready, Joe. I was locked and loaded, dude. Absolutely locked and loaded. But we'll keep moving there then. Wait, okay. So the only positions that we haven't picked then are running back,
D-line,
and
there's no D-line that have been picked. Yeah,
dude, defensive tackle. I feel like there's a decent amount of guys. Like
there's a bunch of like rotational. I had 2 that their names popped to me, but not to the point where like there's one guy I think that stands up above the rest.
Yeah, I'm just going to look this guy's stats real quick because I just want to make sure that he had the season I just think that he had, and I think he did. Yes. All right, so here's going to be my defensive tackle pick, Joe. I'm going to take Zach Seiler, who plays for the Miami Dolphins now. Okay, defensive tackle.
Oh, you didn't take my guy good.
Last year, Joe, in the year 2023, Zach Seiler for the Miami Dolphins, who was a part of a rotation with Christian. He did 17 games last year. 63 total tackles, 11 tackles for loss, and 10 sacks in the interior. And he has now been a stalwart for Miami. I mean, he's had 48 tackles, 62, 70, and 63 the last 4 years. Quietly one of the more productive interior defensive linemen in the NFL. So I will take Zach Seiler from the Miami Dolphins. 2018. I think he was from a smaller school because I played Baltimore for a minute. Yeah, he's from Ferris State. Ferris State, 2018 7th rounder.
My pick, I'm going to go with actually, see, this is really confusing. No, he's a defensive tackle. My defensive tackle that you didn't take, I'm going to go with Lawrence Guy, who in 2011.
That was my second guy. Yeah.
2011 was picked 233 by the Packers, and he bounced around a ton. Before he stuck with the Patriots, and when he stuck with the Patriots, he really got a home. 271 career tackles, 17 career sacks, and he's just been such a steady mainstay with that roster. He's just so consistently been there and been an important veteran. And one of the few guys I had a chance to meet a couple times at the Super Bowl, super chill guy. I forget if I'm mixing up with somebody else, but there was one player who was really sick and came over to our table and then get all of us sick. I forget if it was Lawrence Guy or if it was somebody else. No, it wasn't Lawrence Guy. Sorry, I'm talking.
You're slandering Lawrence Guy for no reason, zero reason.
It might have been him, but it might have been another defensive lineman. I won't allegedly. So let's put the alleged there. We're not slandering him.
So I wasn't at that point, Joe. I was not evaluating players full time because what was that? 2011, right? 2011.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
But dude, I remember I really liked Lawrence Guy. So it wasn't like an official evaluation and putting a grade on him. But like I remember watching him at Arizona State, and I was like, I like that dude, man. Like he's pretty good. But yeah, that was my second pick because he's just been like Zach Seiler was my pick because he's been flashier the last couple years, more production like overall, but. Lawrence Guy's been that guy that's just been in the NFL for 13 years now, right? Where it's like he's just had a great career.
And this one's a banger. I can't believe you let me take this guy, Isaiah Pacheco, as the running back.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine at running back. I'm fine at running back. Yeah, I'm fine at running back. Yeah.
Who's better than Isaiah Pacheco? The only other guy I'd written down was Myles Gaskin.
Oh, you're missing someone, my friends. You're missing someone.
Who?
I mean, I'll tell you in a minute because now we can just go through our picks, right? I mean,
all right. So just to quickly, Isaiah Pacheco being considered recently a very big steal because of what they had at running back. They were rotating a bunch of guys, and he was perfect for what the Chiefs needed. He was important in both their Super Bowl wins. So I think that, Pacheco goes without being said. 2-time Super Bowl winner, hasn't been like a take over the rushing game type of a guy, but has been productive for what they need. But yeah, I thought I'm surprised, really, a 2-time Super Bowl winner on the best team in the NFL. You think that there's somebody better?
Isaiah Pacheco was number 2 on my list, but Isaiah Pacheco hasn't had a 1,000-yard season yet, has he? I mean, he's good.
No, he's not.
So I went with a guy that's had 2,000-yard seasons, Joe, including a 1,230-yard season, and had a 4.6 lifetime rush average. Only lasted 5 years because of injury, but I'm going 2017 with Chris Carson for the Seattle Seahawks, my friend.
Oh, shit. I missed him. Oh.
Yeah, buddy. 2,000-yard seasons. Like I said, in only 5 years, he ran for 3,502 yards, 24 touchdowns, and averaged 4.6 yards a carry. So, yeah, give me Chris Carson, man. Give me Chris Carson.
I would argue that they're pretty even. I don't think that one's better than the other.
Yeah, but how you were talking, dude, your chest was out, bro. You're like, oh,
it was. I thought I got a banger there. But I mean, whoever got Brock Purdy was going to end up having a little bit of a top heavy team, no matter what. So you got Brock Purdy, but the rest of these picks, I think, were right now pretty even. Who's your next pick after Carson?
I mean, I guess I'll just work down the list. Wide receiver, I'm going to go 2012 with Rashard Matthews is going to be my wide receiver. This wide receiver list is just not good in general, but Rashard Matthews was actually at least a good, solid secondary option. I was looking at his stats before we started, and he had over 3,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, but he did have a season with Tennessee Titans where he had 65 receptions for 945 yards and 9 touchdowns. So he did have at least one season, which was, by all accounts, a good year. So he was a Nevada guy, right? So I think, did he play Kaepernick? He may have played with Kaepernick at Nevada, but he was a 7th round pick by the Miami Dolphins in 2012. Again, other than that, I mean, he had 662 yards one year from Miami. He had 795 another year with Tennessee, but the 945 yards and 9 touchdowns was his best year in 2016 for Tennessee Titans. So give me Rashard Matthews, wide receiver.
Yeah, that's a quality pull. Again, I think that very even to Jauan Jennings. He had that one really good season, but I think that Jauan Jennings has a little bit more of a sticking point where he is with San Francisco because am I misthinking here that didn't Jauan Jennings just get a contract extension?
I think he did. And honestly,
it's kind of an aberration for a 9th round, or not 9th round, with a 7th round pick.
9th round pick. What's his 1947 again, dude? The only other wide receiver I think
it proves my point that they extended Jauan Jennings before they extended Brandon Ayuk. So,
he's a better player, obviously. Obviously,
that's what that means.
The only other wide receiver I had, man, because that board was awful, was Ben Skoranek in 2021, former Notre Dame great. I was Super Bowl champ.
Ben Skoranek's name, damn it.
Super Bowl champ, baby. Ben Skoranek. I mean, that was my only other option on the board.
Honestly, I think that when we're doing these 7th rounders, unless there's the clear-cut Brock Purdy's or the Chris Carsons, the Pachecos, I think that there is value in doing that, of picking a guy who was a starter on a Super Bowl team.
Right. Yeah.
My quarterback,
Joe,
Ben DiNucci. We're going Ben DiNucci.
Yo, it has to be Trevor Siemian. It cannot be Ben DiNucci.
No, I'm not picking Trevor. Trevor Siemian stunk. What did he do in the NFL? He didn't do anything.
What did Ben DiNucci do in the NFL? What are we talking about right now?
He has been an excellent XFL player. Okay, he has been an excellent XFL player. We're going with Ben DiNucci.
Joe, I'm going to read you Ben
against. I always love people that they smoke with us when we played against him.
Ben DiNucci threw 43 passes in the NFL, Joe.
he looked like the next coming of Dak Prescott when he stepped in for that brief period of time.
No, he didn't. That was a preseason. He followed the regular season. Trevor Siemian, dude, I'm actually asking. I'm asking to a mulligan on that one because that is just a silly selection.
No.
It is a silly.
No, I'm obviously going with Ben. I have to respect the Ben DiNucci juice. What is Trevor? Okay, Trevor Siemian just started football games. Is that all it takes? Then just have to because he started.
He threw for 3,401 yards, 18 touchdowns one year. He threw 44 touchdowns to 32 interceptions in his career. That is much better than Ben DiNucci, Joe. I'm sorry. It's much better than Ben DiNucci.
Unimpressive.
Oh my God.
The only reason he got that much playing time is because the Broncos didn't have a settled quarterback situation. So no, I'm going with Benjamin DiNucci. So that my offensive lineman.
I felt bad about that graphic last night. I don't feel bad anymore. Do not feel bad about it anymore at all.
What? Because I didn't make a graphic because I'm in the middle of moving. Is that what you're talking about?
You understand that our quarterback? The graphic that I posted of you last night from Milo from Atlantis. I felt really bad this morning. I don't know because it was kind of mean a little bit. But now that you picked Ben DiNucci versus Brock Purdy, like I don't feel bad at all.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts. I'm going to go with my next pick. I'm going to go with this is pretty easy offensive line pick to go with. Okay. Trent Brown. Trent Brown has been a phenomenal tackle.
He would not have been my pick.
So Kelvin Beachum was close for me.
No. He would not have been it either. Charles Leno is on the list, dude. Charles Leno is really good, dude. Really good player for a while.
I was debating on Charles Leno, but I can't deny the fact that. Well, first of all, I think it shows to Trent Brown's value that he seemingly keeps getting picked up as this. Sure. A lot of teams will trade for him, add him when they need some sort of veteran leadership, some sort of just steady quality. And I think that for where he was selected to just be this massive hulking guard to turn into an impactful starter for the Patriots. Yeah. And now I believe why am I misremembering? He just signed with
he was on New England last year, right? He was on New England last year, right?
He just signed with the Ravens. Yes, because he did just sign with the Ravens. I'm not misremembering.
He's the most Raven offensive lineman of all time. Because I think when I was looking through it, Trent Brown made one Pro Bowl. I think also, I think Charles Leno only made one Pro Bowl as well. But like, I just feel like Charles has been a little bit more consistently good for a while longer than Trent. Like, had some highs, but I feel like he's had some lows too. But yeah.
I think that there's not necessarily a wrong answer.
No J.R. Sweezy love, man.
It's one of the easiest positions.
Yeah, no J.R. Sweezy.
He's fine. Okay. The other one, who else did I wrote down? Those are all the ones I wrote down. I wrote down Mailata, Beachum, Trent Brown, and Charles Leno. Those are the four. That's the only position group I found four guys.
I also had interior offensive lineman that would have been in the conversation. I had Austin Blythe, who started the NFL at center for a while, and then Nick Allegretti, who was on the Kansas City team the last couple of years, Super Bowl winner.
Not bad. Who's your next pick?
I mean, I'm just going down the list now. So here's the other tight end, Joe. Again, it is a not stellar list, to say the least, but I'm going to go Virgil Green, former Denver Bronco tight ends. And I was pulled up a stat. Dude, him and Jeff Swain almost have exactly the same stats. So he has, in his career, he played for the Denver Broncos, Los Angeles Chargers, 102 catches for 1,145 yards and 7 touchdowns from a guy, Virgil Green, out of Nevada. He was also, I think, he also played with Rashard Matthews, my starting wide receiver. That's pretty funny. Best year, 22 catches, 230 yards. So again, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel, but I think the barrel was already on the bottom anyway. So yeah,
it's already being scraped. All right, who's your next one? As we close out here.
All right, here's the one that I was actually happy with, and I was surprised that you didn't take, Joe. Jonathan Cooper is my edge for the Denver Broncos right now. 2021. He had 72 tackles and 8.5 sacks this past year. So projecting forward a little bit, but like also did have one good year of production for the Denver Broncos out of Ohio State. That, I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, you had to cheat and put Shelby Harris as a defensive end, even though he doesn't play defensive end, right? So I'm going to take Jonathan Cooper as my edge in this class.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I mean, there are not a lot of options at edge. It's seemingly there's just weirdly a position that's hard to come by. Okay, so this one's pure projection, and I'm going to get hate for probably doing this one. You took a corner that you even admitted you don't think is very good. I think that it's reasonable to pick Kalen King, who was a 7th rounder this past year, because he didn't have a great season and he got picked apart during the draft process, but he fell way further than everybody expected. This is a guy with first round value that should have probably gone somewhere in the 4th round. And I think what happened is a lot of teams just saw him falling and they're like, let's see how long we can kick this down the road. Maybe we can scoop him up a little bit later. But I don't think that there's a reason why he can't, with the terrible choices we had, that he can't at least make the roster and be a consistent rotational guy. I think he can start in the slot for them like right away. I don't see why he couldn't.
I think he could. Yeah, I like Kalen a lot. I was also going to take a couple projection picks at corner if I didn't take Dane Jackson. Like I had Jalen Jones, I had Corey Trice. So like either way, you're projecting forward on these guys without question.
My safety to close out my team, Jordan Poyer was probably the best option, but Jalen Mills, who in 2016 picked 233, is I don't know if he isn't not like no real accolades that he's accumulated, but he's similar to Jalen to Trent Brown. I think he fits this bucket of guy that where a team needs a safety, they need a veteran, they need a guy that they know is well coached and who's smart. He's not going to ever really reach a Pro Bowl, but he will always get you just a really consistent high level of play. The floor is very high with Jalen Mills, so I'm going to go with him as my safety.
Yeah, safeties, man. There were some guys left there, man. I mean, Cameron Curl's a guy I like. Kurt Coleman wasn't bad for a few years. J-Ron Curse, Geno Stone, who just had 7 interceptions this past year. So, I mean, there's a decent amount of safeties. There really was. Yeah. That was probably the deepest pool that we were pulling from. It really was. Last guy, Joe. Linebacker. This is the guy I was talking about before, man. I don't even think Malcolm Smith's better than this guy. I really don't think he's better. Zaire Franklin, who literally plays for the Indianapolis Colts right now. 28. Joe, the last 2 years, he just got a contract in 2 years. 167 tackles, 12 tackles for loss in 2022. And this past year for Indianapolis, he had 179 tackles. I think we're seriously undervaluing Zaire Franklin out of Syracuse. Yeah, I'll take him over Malcolm Smith. Absolutely.
I think he's a good player, but a Super Bowl MVP.
Stop with the Super Bowl MVP stuff. Stop with the Super Bowl MVP stuff. There's some random ass Super Bowl MVPs. There's some. Dexter Jackson won a Super Bowl MVP. Is he a better safety than John Lynch? No,
obviously not. But we're not talking in the okay. Zaire Franklin's not comparable to John Lynch, so we're not. That's a horrible parallel to make.
Zaire Franklin's better than Malcolm Smith.
He might have had one more productive season than him, but a Super Bowl MVP is notable and important.
You're just going off of a name. It's just a name. It's not even tangible. Nope. It's just a name. Nope. Just a name, dude.
I'm going to read off the teams before you have to get out of here. This is my team. Quarterback, Ben DiNucci. Running back, Isaiah Pacheco. Oh, God, I can't stop laughing at Ben DiNucci. Wide receiver, Jawan Jennings. Offensive lineman, tight end, Jeff Swaim. Offensive lineman, Trent Brown. Defensive lineman, Lawrence Guy. Edge rusher, Shelby Harris. Defensive end, more so, Shelby Harris. Linebacker, Malcolm Smith. Steele. Cornerback, Kalen King. And then safety, Jalen Mills. Your team was Brock Purdy at quarterback, running back Chris Carson, wide receiver Rashard Matthews, tight end Virgil Green, offensive lineman Jordan Mailata, defensive lineman Zach Seiler, edge rusher Jonathan Cooper, linebacker Zaire Franklin, corner Dane Jackson, and safety Jordan Poyer.
What a team. What a team, dude. What a team.
At Joe DeLeone, at Rise and Draft, folks, hit the subscribe button. If we miss somebody, drop in the comments. Let us know below. We'll talk to you later.